our frightful five, and we're going to kick off with Sanguivore II, Mistress of Death by Creeper. And this was Karl's selection. So you can kick us off, Karl.
Yeah, I mean, easy pick this month. I mean, love Creeper, great theatrical rock outfit from Southampton. And yeah, with it being Halloween season and releasing on Halloween itself, and given how much we enjoyed Sanguivore Part 1, which is on the channel somewhere if you want to check that out, yeah, was keen to see how we got on with the sequel. And I think from my side, you know, they say the sequel is never as good as the original, and I'd say I'm inclined to agree here. Albeit this is still, for me, a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun. I mean, as you would expect, it is more of the same with what we got with Sanguivore. I mean, it's campy, horror themed kind of glam rock goodness, lots of guitar shreds, big power rock anthems, very theatrical again. Starts with the narrator kind of bringing us into this world, exclaiming, "Rock music is a horny vampire, and tonight it's feasting on you," which makes me laugh every time that comes on. I think it sums up the record perfectly, I think. And yeah, the story of this album is about a vampire rock band on tour, but this Mistress of Death is hunting them down. And I was thinking back to the original Sanguivore record, where there was that metaphor for COVID times and the potential loss of live music, and I was trying to think how this one fits into that. And I was thinking maybe it's like, okay, live music has survived, but the music business and rock and roll is still living on the edge and in danger. And I'd say that's kind of like the continuation, if you want to kind of dig that deep into it. But yeah, I mean, like the first album, those hidden depths are there, but you don't need to. There's plenty to enjoy on a very superficial level with this record. Yeah, the band comes storming out the gates with the great run of singles. You got the title track, Blood Magic, Headstones, Pray for the Night. Really love the latter two songs in particular. I think Headstones has that big 80s inspired chorus that can't help but get you fired up every time it comes on, especially when like the instruments drop and it hits you with the chorus. And then Pray for the Night has all the saxophone and like sleazy guitar riffs going on. But yeah, I mean, strong first half. There's plenty of fun moments in the second half as well. Parasite is fantastic. Razor Wire, which sees Hannah Hermione kind of takes center stage for a very, cabaret style number. And then the last track, Pavor Nocturnus, I think is my favorite one on here. It's not quite as epic as Further Than Forever, which, opened the whole story back on Sanguivore Part 1. But yeah, I think it's another brooding rock song that ties a neat bow on the story. Some excellent guitar work again, especially in the back half of that song. So yeah, I think it's one of those. If you enjoyed the first album, you'll very likely enjoy this one too. But yeah, overall, it doesn't have, for me, like the same surprise impact, or doesn't quite hit the same heights, I think, pound for pound, as the first record. I think I did as well. I think I mentioned this to you guys in the chat, or last time we were on the pod. I did find as well the novelty starting to wear off at times. I really like this fun campy side of Creeper, and I don't think that will ever completely go away, because it was still there on their first couple of projects as well. But I think I'm keen for them to get back to maybe something a bit more heartfelt, emotionally driven, which we did have plenty of moments like those on their first couple of projects, where it wasn't you know, campy but not completely fantastical or over the top like they are here. So yeah, not as good as the first one, but like I said, a lot of fun again. And yeah, good to hear Creeper using all their tricks to give us another Halloween treat, I would say.
Mm. Was it a treat for you, Kylie, or more of a trick?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love this record. I think it, it it's been a while since I've listened to the last one, but from what I remember, I felt like this one had a little more synth pop going on it than the other one did, which I really enjoyed. Uh, I do think Headstones is just such a great single. Loved just like the live performance music video. I thought was really good for that one. Um, I think my other highlights, "Pray for the Night," which I think was another single. You know, this record, the last one, there are a lot of, you know, AFI comparisons that I hear in there a lot. But that song in particular, I don't know if you guys remember it, it was kind of a blip, but the supergroup Dream Car, which was Davey Havoc and then the 3 guys from No Doubt, and they put out 1 record, I think in 2017, and that's kinda what that song reminded me of, the more, synth pop side of Davey Havoc, if we're gonna go with the AFI. Uh, I also like "Daydreaming in the Dark," love the, punchy bass on that song is super fun. And then The Black House as well, I really enjoyed, reminded me a lot of, like, Drab Majesty and Merchandise, which were, like, these melancholic synth pop bands last decade, which I listened to a lot of at the time, but haven't recently, and so it was kinda like a nice reminder, went back and listened to a couple of those albums, so, yeah, Creeper, I mean, I loved this record, I think maybe even a little bit more than Karl did.
For the second month in a row, my pick.
Yeah, yeah.
You love it more.
Okay, so we've started there, gone up there, and I'm probably bringing it back down. But I think in terms of a bit more closely aligned with what Carl was saying. I mean, I enjoyed it, that's for sure, and I'm only going to add to the love for Headstones, which I thought was a little bit Avenged Sevenfoldy. You're flaccid for life as I lust for your death. There's a particularly memorable. I mean, this is an album full of such lyrics, but that was one I pulled out. Yeah, that one for me is definitely the highlight, and yeah, I think it kind of this is a record which goes in waves, a little like you say, Carl, where like at times the effect is lost a little bit by sort of sticking so close to that kind of camp rock opera approach. But there's other, you know, great highlights in here. I think most of which again have been mentioned. Razor Wire, I think, is really great moment for the female singer. As you mentioned, Carl. I think Daydreaming in the Dark is something a bit more varied than some of the songs here. Mistress of Death is, you know, kicks things off in a good way after we have the intro with Patricia Morrison. And yeah, like Parasite, of course, is another very good one. Even if I do find the suck kind of bit a little bit, it's almost too on the nose, that bit. But you know, for some people that'll be a positive. So yeah, and then maybe the Crimson Bride is probably the only other one I would want to particularly highlight. Which I thought was a little Billy Idol like as well. And also a bit like him or His Infernal Majesty, I think it was the Finnish band I was quite into in the early Kerrang days of listening to metal a bit more. So yeah, there is a lot more um, variation on the record. Maybe this time around, I did feel that the last one was better, though. With hits, I can still kind of think back to just if I know what the title of the song is. Um, and yeah, it was kind of there were moments, yeah, where I just felt it was um not always hitting its straps. Also quite surprised. There's 2 songs which are just so reminiscent of others. I think again we kind of slightly mentioned this before, but I was looking in like the notes to sort of see if there was any acknowledgement of the songs which I think they are reminiscent. Which is the one? Yeah, Heaven is a Place on Earth. Blood Magic, It's a Ritual. I mean, that is the 2. And then there was the other one which I couldn't quite place the actual song, but you would know it straight away, and maybe one of you can chip in if. But there was 2 songs, the second song as well, where like the music itself is just such a rip from another song that they're, like I say, in the kind of notes I expected an acknowledgement of that, but yeah, far be it for me to dob them in. So we'll cut short there. But yeah, I can only echo. A lot of fun.
Talking about the rip-offs, I don't know if you guys saw any by any chance on Album of the Year. There was a user review that called it Meatloaf for the Monster Energy Generation, and I thought that was perfect.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Works very well. Sometimes the concise reviews are the best. We should have just said that, guys. Right.
Yeah.
A little bit more nuance, perhaps, in what we've covered. So it's no good way to kick off our very Halloween heavy album of the month episode.